Matthew Blackburn, and you're watching Divine Superconductor TV. Today's video is about infrared saunas, far infrared saunas. So the electromagnetic spectrum is divided into 3 segments by wavelength, measured in microns. So a good way to think about this type of energy, this wavelength, far infrared, is think of visible light, which is, by the way, what we can see with our eyes is a penny compared to the Empire State Building as far as all the waves of light that are out there, and then the ones that we could actually perceive with our eyes. So we can't really see a lot. Pretty weird world we live in. So the progression goes like this: gamma rays, X-rays, ultraviolet, visible light, infrared, and then microwaves and radio waves. And in that infrared, there are segments. So there's near infrared, middle infrared, and far infrared. So this type of energy is called far infrared. And far infrared is 5.6 to 1,000 microns in between there. And this invisible band of light, far infrared. So a good way to think about this is when you're outside and the sun's out, but it's cold outside, but you still feel that the warmth from the sun. You're feeling the infrared waves hitting your body. So it doesn't heat the surrounding air, it's just heating your body. An interesting fact is approximately 80% of the sun's rays fall into the infrared range. It's also interesting to note that our bodies emit infrared energy through the skin between 3 and 50 microns. There's a great book called Reverse Aging by Sang Wang. And in that book, Sang Wang talks about how couples sleeping together actually are radiating the waves and it bounces off each other. So when you're next to somebody, you actually stay warmer. Otherwise, you're just emitting those waves and they're just going off. But when you're next to somebody, the waves are bouncing off of each other, so you're heating each other up. So with the far infrared sauna, there are wooden ones, there are portable ones. I'm going to show you my portable one. They pretty much replicate what the sun is doing. It's one of these cool technologies, kind of like grounding technologies, that's using the principles of nature mixed with technology. So it's a completely natural technology. It's completely safe. The tissues of the body absorb these rays as the water in the cell reacts in a process called resonant absorption. This occurs when the frequency of the far infrared matches the frequency of the water in the cell, causing toxins to be dropped off into the bloodstream and excreted in sweat, feces, and urine. So essentially what's happening is the pores are opening up, thousands of pores in the body, and they're dumping fat-soluble and oil-soluble toxins. And this is a very easy way to detox. This is an easy way to lose weight or to just get toxins out of the body. It's super efficient. Actually, heavy metals come out of the skin this way. So with all the environmental toxicity going on in our world, it's very smart to have these strategies to constantly get these things out of your body. This is the sauna that I use. It's by Therasage, and this is a $700 sauna, but I recommend checking your local Craigslist because I got this for less than half of that, and it works great. So this is the little controller it comes with. So what I would do is hit power, heat. I always turn the temperature up to max 5, which is 140 degrees Fahrenheit. And then it goes up to half an hour. So usually I'll do, depending on what I have going on the day, I'll do between 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how much time I have. There's also a little foot heater. I don't really use that. And so I put that in there, and this is it. So So what I'll do is I'll set a towel down there and sit cross-legged in there naked, and I have bring in some essential oils, and I use this on my skull, which is really awesome. While I'm in there to break up all the sutures, like the cracks in between the plates of the skull. Yeah, this is a very cheap tool, just good to have around anyway for massage. So what I'll do is I'll let it warm up for about 5 minutes, 5 to 10, and then I'll sit in there. So this is kind of just a little cheap plastic thing that kind of props it up. And so I'll zip it up and put that down, and I'll pretty much be in the darkness. And I like to meditate in there. You can do gua sha in there, it's just the wooden saunas are better for that because you'll have more room to navigate. Like I said, I prefer to meditate in there, and it enhances the meditation because I'm releasing all these toxins, which a lot of emotions are stored in, a lot of memories are stored in the toxins, so I'm releasing those. So that's kind of what you're doing with meditation anyway, you're kind of letting go. So you're also physically letting go in the sauna. There's 128 tourmaline crystals in this sauna. So getting like crystal therapy, and those are putting off negative ions, which the ratio of negative to positive ions has flipped since the beginning of the 20th century. So it used to be about 1.2 negative ions to positive ions, and now it's reversed. So it's 1.2 positive ions to negative ions, which means that there's more positive ions in our environment. Negative ions are what's released with waves, crashing water, waterfalls, even a shower, even plants release them. It's what nature produces that's refreshing. It freshens up the air. And these are atoms or molecules with an extra one or more electrons to them. Negative ions, that's what they are. So electronics produce positive ions. Sitting in an office all day in front of your computer, you're absorbing a huge amount of positive ions. To have a negative ion generator is great, and also when you go in the sauna and all your pores are open, you're absorbing a ton of negative ions. The other benefit is that a far infrared sauna activates the parasympathetic nervous system, and that is the mode of our nervous system that is active during meditation. It's that calming where it just gives our nervous system a break, and it's a highly regenerative state. The sympathetic nervous system is what's active during our fight or flight, which is what a lot of us are chronically stuck in. Something happens and we're like, oh, what? We go crazy, and we just have that like we're always on edge. That's the sympathetic nervous system. So it's really good to have strategies that get us into the parasympathetic state. So that would be like meditation. A lot of people like going to the beach. The parasympathetic nervous system mode is not active during exercise. So that's important to understand. You can't get that way with movement. So with here, we're kind of emulating that idea of a sweat box that's been used for thousands of years, and we're upgrading it with this technology of far infrared. So this is the merging of nature and technology. If we go this direction consciously, it can actually upgrade us. But if we use technology to move us further from nature, then we're in trouble. So this is basically a nature-based technology. I mean, it's using crystals, and it's an awesome, awesome way to deal with the huge amount of toxicity going on in the world today. Chemtrails, the myriad of toxins that we're exposed to on a daily basis. If we actually knew the amount, we'd probably laugh. To live a detoxification lifestyle where you're just constantly maintaining. You don't have to go on a week-long fast. 40 minutes in a far infrared sauna, they found is equivalent to a 3-day water fast. With a lot of these technologies, we can use shortcuts. For example, using the neurophone, Patrick Flanagan's neurophone. That is a technology that enhances meditation using ultrasonic lily waves. So there's a lot to be excited about. There's a lot out there, and there's a lot of tools to use so that we can stay balanced during these super chaotic times. I recommend checking Craigslist for far infrared saunas. You can get a wooden one I've seen for about $1,000 where I'm located, or you can get a portable one that people sell all the time. You just want to look. One of the precautions I would recommend is don't buy one off of eBay, because the ones for $100 or $200 are probably going to be off the charts with EMF. This one is a low EMF model. Well, how do you know that? Is that just a marketing thing? Well, I have one of these tri-field meters, so this measures magnetic fields, electric fields, and radio microwave. And this is omnidirectional. So this measures fields all around it. You don't have to point it at something. So the box is back here. This is the thing that emits the most waves. So if I set it 0 to 100 on the range, we're looking at that top bar. That dotted line is what has been found to be safe, up to 3 milligauss. Above that, the solid red line is what has been found to be hazardous to human health. So you can see as I get closer to it, it goes way up, and then as I go farther away, it goes down. So when I'm sitting in here, my head would be right around here, which is about 1 milligauss. Then as I go closer, of course, it goes up, but my head is not going to be in the corner. You see just that little difference. My head would be about here. So it's about 1 or less. So that's a great way to quantify it and not just take their word for it. So like I said, with the cheaper saunas, you want to be careful about the EMF, because sitting in there for a while, it's going to super drain your body electric, your energy field, your nervous system. It's going to tire it. That's what electromagnetic fields do. They burn out the nervous system, because 60 cycle electricity we haven't had in the 200,000 years that we've had this physical form. We haven't had that type of energy, so it doesn't take much common sense to realize that electromagnetic fields, non-native EMF, man-made electromagnetic radiation is not too smart for human health. So try out an infrared sauna. I recommend buying one used. Please like this video, comment below if you want to add something or ask a question, and please subscribe and stay tuned for more videos on detoxification strategies, recipes, and just tips to stay balanced.